One of the top comments I hear from strangers when I tell them that I homeschool or new acquaintances is, "I don't have the patience for that," or "Wow, you must be really patient." I think it's well intended and they mean it as a compliment. They mean it like I and homeschool moms in general must have a supernatural gift of patience that ordinary parents just don't have. If they had this mysterious gift, they would homeschool too. Any homeschool parent and homeschooled kid would tell you that that is just ridiculous. We don't have any more patience than anyone else, and our kids will tell you that. So if you've ever thought this or said it to a homeschool family, you're in the right place. Or maybe someone has said it to you. Okay. I'm hoping that after watching this video, you won't feel the urge to say it again. I think this happens because parents who do not homeschool or have not homeschooled for very long will think, I can barely help my kid with their math homework, let alone teach them math every day. Or, I don't know, spending all day, every day with my kids on summer break makes us all go bananas. How could we do that all the time? And I get that. But the thing is, when you're actively homeschooling, your home takes on a totally different vibe. Isn't the same, right? Because if your kid is at school all day, every day for months, and then they're suddenly home with you constantly for 3 months, you're bored, they're bored, they are missing that structure, you're all out of your routine. That's not normal life. It's almost like, when you go on vacation and you come home and think, I need a vacation from my vacation, right? That's why, because you're missing that structure. So when you homeschool, you're not in vacation mode all day, every day. And so you have that structure, so it's not the same kind of vibe. And then the other thing, as far as continuing the example with the math homework, right? When you homeschool, you're the one choosing the math curriculum. You're the one actively looking at the math lesson every day. So it isn't like, boy, I haven't had to help you with math in 2 weeks, and now you're learning this concept that I haven't seen in 30 years, and I don't know how to do that. Now I got to learn how to do this. Oh, and now you're doing math a new way, right? Like in Incredibles 2, Mr. Incredible says, why would they change math? So when you're a homeschooling parent, you don't deal with that kind of problem. We have other problems, sure, but we don't deal with that problem because it's not something that's being foisted upon us that we have no control over, which is frustrating for everyone. Okay, so maybe you are already a homeschooling parent, or you're thinking about it and you're wondering, well, how am I going to have the patience for this, right? Okay, there's 3 things that you're going to gain. And I have some notes with me because I want to make sure that I don't forget any of them, okay? Let's talk about the inevitable right now. You are going to lose your patience. It's going to happen, right? We all do. You are going to, I'm going to, it doesn't matter. So we're all going to make mistakes and lose our cool from time to time. The bigger thing to think about is what you're going to do when that happens, okay? Instead of saying, that's never going to happen to me, how can I prevent that? Just acknowledge it will happen, and here's how I'm going to deal with it, okay? First of all, it's best to take a break for you and the student, no matter who is losing their patience, or both of you. Walk away, go outside, have a snack, take a walk, whatever, and reconvene in 10 minutes when you're both cooled off and ready to move on. Acknowledge that it happened, apologize if you need to apologize, allow them to apologize if they need to, and then try to pick up where you left off and just carry on with your day. Or if it's just like, wow, that was bad, we're just going to move on to the next task and we're going to deal with math tomorrow. Done that a number of times as well. Now here's the 3 things that you're going to gain as far as patience in homeschooling. 1, you're going to gain perspective. okay? I understand now that I've been doing this for a long time. It might take one child 3 months to learn a concept that it took a different child 3 days. We're all on our own pace. And so there's nothing to be gained by losing patience with someone's development. You know what I mean? That would be like being frustrated with your 8-month-old for not walking. It's silly. That's not, just because your older child maybe walked at 8 months, your younger one isn't necessarily going to. When you put it that way, I feel like that helps you be more able to see that perspective. Second, you will gain humility. When you lose your patience or your temper and snap at your kids or have a full-blown meltdown, because it's not only toddlers that have meltdowns, let's be honest, step away for 5 or 10 minutes and cool off. Come back and say, I'm sorry for the way that I acted. I was getting frustrated, but it was not right for me to behave that way. Okay? Will you forgive me? And then, like I said, move on. Carry on with your day. Kids are generally very forgiving. You will gain coping mechanisms. Okay, this is a huge one. You're going to have hard days, like I said. And it's important to have friends who get it, that you can text and say, gosh, this is a really tough day. Friends who understand and won't just say, oh, maybe you should just put them back in school. Because even if they were going to school, they'd have a tough day, right? It doesn't matter what choice we make, that's going to be happening. So when you're homeschooling for a certain amount of time, you'll learn to recognize when you're nearing a breaking point and need to step away. And so the longer you do it, the less often you will have meltdowns, because you will see and sense, I or you or both of us are getting to a point that this is going to get ugly. So you know what? We're going to be done. We're going to take a break and we're going to move on before it gets to the whole, bad phase. Okay. Those are the 3 things that you're going to gain: humility, perspective, and coping mechanisms. Maybe your coping mechanism is going to be a secret stash of chocolate hidden somewhere. That's okay too. And lastly, think outside the box. If your day is just going like it's just in the pits and you cannot recover it, pivot. Okay? Pivot your entire day. Stop lessons. Do a read aloud. Make cookies. Go for a walk. Go to the playground. Take out the art supplies. Watch a movie. Do something totally different. Change it up to change the whole trajectory of your day. You can't always control what happens to you and what happens to your homeschool day, but you can control how you respond to it and what happens after the initial event, right? You can't control that, well, it's too late. I've already lost my temper. Or it's too late. This child already stormed away during a math lesson out of frustration. Okay, we can't go back. We can't change that. What can we do now, okay, for the rest of our day? And that is a skill that is learned over time. So I hope that encourages you to understand you don't need a magical or extra supernatural gift of patience. It's something that is learned over time, and you can do it too. So I hope you have a great day.